in, race fans. Welcome. It's Monday night here on VirtualRacing.Network, and we are so pleased that you're joining us live here as we bring the NORA Truck Series to Pocono, Pennsylvania, Long Pond, and the Tricky Triangle as it's known. We were here last night on the network. We're here tonight with the Truck Series. We'll be back again tomorrow night with the NORA Cup Series, but it's basically a full field here tonight, and it's a full booth. Although it's myself, Trevor Greenfield, you're actually going to get to hear from a couple of announcers here that you're normally seeing on the track, and it's great to have them here in the booth. I'm welcoming back here to VirtualRacing.Network Vincent Arthur, who is normally competing in the NORA Cup Series. He's back here in the booth with me tonight, and of course, doing a lot of our pit reporting will be Brady Moats as well, owner of Ready to Wreck Racing. Gentlemen, welcome back to VirtualRacing.Network. And Vincent, tell us tonight what we can expect to see here at Pocono Raceway.
I think we can expect to see a lot of very hard, fast racing. This is a very, very short race. It's almost a sprint. You're really going to see who prioritizes track position and who prioritizes tire saving. The first stage is going to be 15 laps. That's going to go by faster than you can blink an eye. The second stage is going to go by even faster due to those caution laps after the end of stage one. And that's going to be about 10 laps to the end. And then you got that 30-lap stint at the end. And that's when the people who are going to save the tires, that's when they're going to shine. But cautions will throw a mix into that. If we go green, I think it'll be a pretty good run to the end. But like we saw in the real-life race on Saturday, there could be some very, very large wrecks here.
A lot of big ifs there. It'll be fun to see how this one sorts itself out. Of course, last night, all of our viewers here saw some interesting racing and some different strategy for sure. Tonight, a nice field of trucks out there. We'll see what happens. 106 degrees on the track right now. Brady, what do you think that's going to do with these tires? Do you think we're going to see a lot of loose cars out there?
Definitely going to be slick. The biggest thing, I mean, save. And also, but another big thing too, Trevor, that everybody's not really thinking about is the draft. I mean, the draft is going to be big here. Big 2.5 mile triangle shaped track. So, I mean, we're going to have a lot of long straightaways. The draft's going to be very key for getting those passes done. And kind of almost like Daytona and Talladega in a sense. I mean, your friends, you need some friends out there to help you get around the car. You can't just pull out of line, and because of how big the drag is on the trucks, and even tomorrow night, I mean, the drag is just going to be a lot. So always just good to have some friends. And then, I mean, that exit out of turn 3 and out of turn 1 is going to be slick, and really even the tunnel turn too, honestly. It's going to be slick with that high track temp.
Well, right now we see some of these drivers putting in their first times. Brian Jones jumping to the top of the charts. No surprise, he continues to lead the points here. But hey, who's this guy? Brand new to the NORA Truck Series. Of course, he's out there racing for Full Send Motorsports for the second week in a row. He put on quite a show at Mid-Ohio. It's Jovi Ray taking the top time there, the 54.75. Sean Briscoe, been one of the fastest here in the NORA Truck Series over the course of this season. I still can't believe, I mean, he's been a bridesmaid so many times and not taken a victory. I think all of us kind of have scratched our heads how that's even possible, but here he is right now with the third fastest time, and he's working on a faster time, hopefully right now. So we're going to watch and see as he's got a green second sector on this one, and possibly going to bring, nope. Looks like he's going to bring it in. Not happy with the end of that lap. But looking over here, Timothy Harper pulls it down to a stop after his lap. 6th fastest there. Jacob Gladelich out there on the track. He's managed to go 13th. A number of these drivers getting in their laps. But let's do something fun here. Vincent, if you wouldn't mind taking us around, we can follow along with Brad Fulham in the Full Send Motorsports car.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see he just past the start-finish flag here, and he's going to be sending off into turn 1 around 180 miles an hour. You're going to brake around this one cone, maybe a little later during qualifying. Just try to get the bottom. If you miss the bottom, you're just going to plow, and then the rear is going to snap. But you see a little overcorrection there in the corner as he comes off of 1. And this is another really long straightaway. So you gotta prioritize the exit out of turn 1. And through this tunnel turn, it is full commitment. You throw the car in there, and you hope it sticks. It looks like it did nice for the, oh, big moment off of the corner there. Almost got the wall, but that's what I was talking about. It's a full commitment quarter. You got to have faith in your truck. You got to have faith in yourself, and that sets up that short shoot to turn 3. Turn 3, you kind of just get it down to the bottom. You squeeze that throttle, try not to get too loose off of the corner, and just like that, you're back to the start-finish flag. A lot of this lap is taken at full throttle, and the exits of 1 and 3 are going to be crucial tonight for passing.
Well, Fulham put in a great lap there, and that was a great walkthrough there, Vincent. 7th fastest for one of our few international entrants tonight, our Canadian friend Brad Fulham there, and this is going to pretty much close it out. I don't see anybody else going to head out there. Of course, in qualifying, it's all solo qualifying, so no chance to utilize that draft that Brady was discussing earlier. But now that we switch over to race, it's going to be all about that draft. But let's go ahead and take a look at the points as they stand right now coming into the event, as we can switch over here and get that to show up here any day now. There we go. So as we take a look, this is our owner's points. No changes this week whatsoever from the top to the bottom, but it's still a very close owner's points race. And so we look forward to seeing whether or not any of those will change over the course of this race, but still a tight battle that we'll watch over the course of this season. Then here is the one that we're really watching, the driver's points for the regular season. And of course, everybody in yellow has won a race. You're missing another driver that's off the bottom of the list, but basically everybody under Dakota Reeder is going to have to try to make it on points. And you see how close that gap is between Cody Reeder and Torrin Schertz, just 4 points separating them. So Schertz going to have to do some work. Todd Slauson, I think, is just too far back, 100 points out to be able to get in on points. Pretty much everybody else that's in white below that is going to need a win to get into those playoffs. Only 10 positions that are available. So with that, we can go over tonight's starting lineup and how they will be gridded for round number 15 of the NORA Truck Series 2023 at Pocono. Starting on pole position will, of course, be Cody Reeder. And that was a fantastic lap by him to put that in there at the end, just barely beating out Jovi Ray by just 2/100ths of a second. And then you can see Brian Jones there in second place. Looks like we're having a little bit of difficulties with our graphics. Apologize for that, but there we go. We get everything all squared away. Some things not quite tucking away in the right buttons that they should. There we go. So starting second row will be Brian Jones and Sean Briscoe. On the third row, Torrin Schertz and Mark Bremkamp. On that fourth row, Brad Fulham and Mark Morton. Fifth row will be Cody Dempster and Timothy Harper. On the sixth row, Josh Conover and Martin Plute. Scrolling ahead to the next row, we're going to have, if we can get everything to show correctly, Christian Snyder, who's actually out there racing tonight in 13th. Next to him will be Kurt Quist, making his VirtualRacing.Network debut, but not NORA debut. It's been a long time since he's been out there, filling in over at Flatline. Ian Clark and David McGuire. Ronnie Norman, familiar to all of you fans out there in the YouTube chat room. Next to Cody Height. Cody Height on YouTube, as he's known. Jacob Gladelich in 19th, starting next to Nick Geilis. Christopher Heitz next to Dylan Walterman, Craig Schroeder, and Todd Slauson. And Todd Snyder next to Jake Christenberry, Stephen Henning, and Grant Brown. And then finally wrapping up the field will be Jacob Malone and Jordan Ibeta for FAFO Motorsports. And Grant Brown as well making his debut here. Jordan Ibeta making his debut. We can't tell you what FAFO stands for. You'll have to use your imagination. Yes, it does mean what you think it means. And it's a very aggressive saying, so let's just say I wouldn't want to mess around with those folks because we may find out. So, Vincent, Brady, we're about ready to throw the green flag. and kick this one off here at Pocono. Cody Reeder leads us down to the green flag, and we are underway with round number 15.
It seems like a pretty calm start at the back, or in the front. There's a little bit of 3 wide in the back, not too much. I think these drivers are going to take it easy here this first lap, but they go down in turn 1. It's really slick, and if you get up out of the groove, I mean, you could be in for a world of trouble. But looks like they all kept it clean, got a couple side-by-side battles, but it looks like Cody Reeder out front. He's going to be... Jovi Ray goes to the inside here.
Jovi Ray did steal it there coming out of 1, but looks like Reeder back to the inside. He'll try to take that position. So they're still stacked up 2 by 2, going all the way back through the field, as you said. Vincent, not a lot of changes here so far, but they're still battling it out for that top position, and we've got Brian Jones, your points leader, still holding on there in 3rd as well.
Jovi's scented in there.
Talking about implication for the bubble, Torrent Shirts had a EOL to start the race after the post-race review from the admins, and they saw that there was a shoes cone violation. So coming from the rear, going to be tough to try and pass here. Hope he has some friends back there to help him get to the front.
Well, it's certainly difficult to do, but we were talking about it last night, and the way things were going last night, if you just ran half a lap down and didn't even try to race anybody, you'd end up with a top 20. So we'll see how it works out here in the NORA Truck Series tonight. Could be very different, as we see a lot of these drivers doing well, but just as I say that, Jovi Ray now drifting backwards, and just up in front, you can see Brian Jones perhaps going to give Cody Reeder a shot for first.
You can tell that Brian Jones is in that full send mode and not that save tire mode. He is giving it all he has, 110% around here these first 2 laps.
A lot of these drivers are in the full send mode, which is surprising because one of the things about this race is, yes, it's short, and yes, you need to be able to get to the front early, but those early mistakes are costly. The 43 slammed the wall out of turn 1 last time by, and that damage is really going to hurt him for the rest of the race. He seems to be doing okay right now, but that is only going to get his handling is only going to get worse as the run goes on.
So Mark Morton filling in over at Full Send Motorsports, as you mentioned, slamming the wall. There you can see the scrapes down the right-hand side, and as you said, it's some of this stuff can get fixed on pit road, but you always wonder how much. We're now 3 wide going into turn 3. This is Quist, Harper, and Fulham racing it out with, you can see Christian Snyder, Full Send Motorsports now trying to make an appearance up here in the top 10.
Yeah, it seems like everybody is in that full send mode right now. I think a couple of guys who are single file, they're kind of just biding their time here towards the back. But we got battles all over the track right now. Even the battle for the lead, even though they're single file right now, Brian Jones is right on the back of Cody Reeder, and I will not be surprised if he tries to make a move within the next few laps.
I can definitely tell you drivers right now like Josh Conover, we got Cody Height back here, we got Ronnie Norman. Though they're among the crowd that has the pace to go up there and go full send, but they see the bigger picture. They want to save their tires and try and obviously make a run up there to the front and be there towards the end of the stage, and even more so towards the end of the race. We had that long run after the end of stage 2.
Well, we got Sean Briscoe, who's just made a move around the outside on Brian Jones. So as much as it looks like Jones was trying to push and get up there, chase down Cody Reeder and make a pass, here comes Briscoe. Could tonight be the night that he actually takes that first victory here in the NORA Truck Series?
I think he's got a good opportunity. As long as he plays out like a nice, smart race, keeps himself out of trouble, I think he's got a good opportunity to do so.
That dirt background for Sean Briscoe plays such a great advantage here. Truck's so loose on exit, especially as the run goes on. And with this 106-degree track temp being hot and slick, just plays straight into his favor.
Well, Brian Jones still has not been able to figure this one out in 3rd spot. He's now racing with Mark Bremkamp there for BS Motorsports, who's jumped 3 positions since the start of this race. And Jovi Ray just behind in 5th place. He's still struggling as well. And just as soon as I say that, here he comes to try to make a move around Brian Jones. So perhaps some of these drivers feeling some tire issues early on, and then deciding, okay, I'm going to drop back a little bit, regroup, get my tires back under control, and then mount another charge. But this is a very tight battle right now for third spot on the track.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things we'll see tonight is you can really push your tires early, and it gives you a lot of benefit. But once that handling starts to go away, once you overheat the tires, once you get a little too much air pressure into that right front, you deteriorate very, very fast, and it gets very, very sketchy. Like we're seeing back in the pack with a 23 almost hitting the wall at a tunnel turn. It's these drivers need to choose between whether they want to push and go all out or if they want to conserve a little bit. If not, like Brady had mentioned Josh Conover earlier, and I know Josh very well, and I feel like he's going to be one who, if the last stage goes green, he's going to be a real contender because he's a person who just sits in the back, bides his time, saves his tires, and he is consistently one of the fastest drivers I've ever raced against on the long run.
Yeah, it's one thing that Christian and I typically, when we're here in the booth, we can never count out Josh, as you know, Vincent, and Brady. I mean, it's kind of weird if we see him at the front early on because that's a threat to everybody else in the field if he's feeling it that early on. But generally, he's usually hanging out somewhere around 10th to 12th, which is exactly where he's at tonight. He's hanging out in 13th at the moment. We see a move just up in front right now. This is the move for the lead. Sean Briscoe getting around Cody Reeder for first out of turn 3.
Yeah, we see in the background that 43, he slapped the wall hard out of the tunnel turn. He got stuck to it a little bit, but it looks like I think it's Briscoe. No, that's Cody Reeder. Cody Reeder is going to be able to keep the position here. I don't think unless Briscoe is able to clear him right here, I think being able to have the help on the straightaways is going to be exponentially more beneficial than having that inside line.
Well, they continue to race on here. Good stuff indeed. Jacob Vladelich waving to us from the cockpit. We appreciate you checking in with us here on YouTube. We've got a heck of a battle here with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, known as the NORA Truck Series here. This is a great one happening right now on VirtualRacing.Network, and I'm sure you're watching it out of the corner of your eye at the same time you're out there racing, Jason. Any of you out there who are enjoying it, let us know in the YouTube chat room. Always love chatting with you. Love knowing who is repping what driver, what team out there, where you're watching from. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, hey, smash the subscribe button, become part of the VirtualRacing.Network family, and get notified of all the upcoming races. This is a heck of a battle going on right now. All these trucks, in the top 6 right now, battling it out for position. You couldn't get a blanket over these trucks.
How about this run for Mark Bremkamp? I mean, 3rd place, usually Mark, we see him excel. Oh, there's the caution.
It looks like Kristen Berry, unfortunately, getting caught up in that one. We'll have to see if we can tell exactly what happened as he now sits on pit road. And he is the only one triggering our software to tell us there was an incident. So let's back it up and see. Oh, this was just in front of Kristen Berry. The 23 there having a moment and getting sideways and into the outside. That was David McGuire, but he does continue. So let's see if we can back this up one more time and let this one play through. But McGuire already sideways there as we enter the replay. And we'll see if we can jump up above and let's see if we can figure this one out.
Looks like a little bit of net code, but the 23 was just trying to pinch him a little too much and ended up turning himself across his nose.
Almost looked like he thought he was clear. Like, that's almost what it looked like to me. Like, he thought he was clear off the nose of Chris Heights there, and I don't know. He was just kept coming, and nowhere for Chris to go between him and the wall.
Well, this is what Kristen Berry saw, and it looks like he just kind of got spun there to the inside wall, destroying that car. Did he have some
contact?
Absolutely nothing he could do there. I mean, that's just low brake bias, on the brakes hard, trying to avoid the wreck, and man, it just snaps out. I've been there, done that. Snaps out from underneath you. That low, I mean, I'm sure he's running a low brake bias.
I don't think so, unless there was extensive net code. It looked like maybe he just slammed on the brakes and it sent him around, or maybe took a little overcorrective action. If we can check it out one more time, and if we jump inside the car, we'll be able to perhaps look at his input.
Yeah, it looks like he just went to avoid it and it snapped around. I know some of these drivers are running as low as 46% brake bias. So, I mean, they're being extremely aggressive, and unfortunately, that's something that can happen when you're having brake bias that low. But here we go. Some pit stops are happening as it looks like Sean Briscoe was the first one to take the pit road, and everybody else was faking and dodging in and out.
Faking him out, and Harper more than happy to take on some new tires and fuel. Got Josh Conover in this mix as well. Martin Plute taking a pit stop. Cody Height on pit road. Nick Geilis. We've got Christopher Heights taking service. Craig Schroeder as well. And Todd Snyder taking on new amenities to that truck. Stephen Henning in the pits. Jake Christenberry, I think, has decided to pull it behind the wall, unfortunately. We heard that engine pop, so unfortunately I imagine that's going to probably do it for Jake, and that's really unfortunate to see him have to take such an early exit, just trying to avoid that incident, and everything goes wrong and ends up hitting at the wrong angle on the inside wall.
Yeah, you know, I will say this is, I mean, people are going to say, oh, it's only 11 laps and track position matters a lot. I'm sure Vincent can attest. That 11 laps, I mean, sure, immediately it's not going to pay off. But as the run goes on, these cars in front of Tim Harper, I believe Sean Briscoe is first to come off pit road, but starting to Todd Slauson and all of them forward, I mean, their tire fall off is, if this goes green, will be pretty interesting as we come here closing the stage at, I believe, lap 18.
I think it's 15.
15. Okay.
Yeah, and I was about to say, I really like this strategy for the guys who pitted there, because what they're going to do is they're going to cycle out to the front once everybody else pits. As we do the choose cone here, they're taking the access road on in turn 3, but I really like it for 2 reasons. One, they have enough fuel to get to the end of stage 2, so that's not an issue. 2, we're probably going to run maybe 2 or 3 laps green. And if you look at the tire fall off and the lap times, at least in that run before, they only fell off 0.2 of a second, 0.3 of a second. So those guys who pit there who got new tires, they should be as competitive, if not, you know, on the same playing field as the guys who will end up pitting here at the end of the stage. But we really get to see who prioritizes stage points and that all-important playoff point versus who is looking for the bigger picture in the win tonight.
You know, I'd like to just give a quick shout out. Third row, bottom lane, Chris Snyder. First race back, running inside out in the back half of the top 10. Front half, I mean, right now, it's going to restart 6th here. I mean, that's pretty impressive for the injuries he's had and everything he's had to go through. Coming back in a full, good competitive field here tonight, and he's up in 6th, been battling in the back half of the top 10, probably saving his stuff. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's great to see that signage on board as well. We appreciate him donating the sponsorship here tonight to VirtualRacing.Network on board there. But I guess it just says, you know, we see a lot of these drivers coming back into the NORA folds, and once that competitive spirit, once the level of racing, that top elite sort of level, of course, Christian being a multiple race winner here in the NORA series, once that gets into your bloodstream, it never really goes away.
That it does not. I mean, I still think of the days of when I used to race, you know, all the open setups and those guys that I used to race against there, and, you know, racing against them after a long hiatus. You know, that's a wonderful feeling, and I can't imagine, you know, what some of these guys are going through, getting back into a very competitive field here tonight as we're going back green.
And indeed, back green with a very competitive field. Who's going to be the first one to pull out a line? Looks like everybody's going to behave themselves headed into turn 1 after that restart. Still side by side there for 3rd spot, but here comes Mark Bremkamp. He's got nothing to lose. He may be going for this stage win.
Yeah, as Cody Reeder got a really good run off of turn 1 here, but the 46 has a run on him. So this will be really interesting to see what he does with it. It looks like he's going to wait, which was a smart decision. But we'll see if he gets the run off of the tunnel turn into turn 3 as the 28 gets really loose on the inside of Brian Jones.
This is something else to watch, and now here's Cody Dempster up into second place, gained 7 positions. And right now, he's trying to make his name known as someone who can take a stage win as well. As you see Cody Reeder weaving down the front stretch to try to break that toe. Right now, racing in third spot, Brian Jones. He says, I'm not quite done with this one either. Mark Bremkamp still in position, and Jovi Ray still hasn't gone anywhere. He's still ready to tackle these top spots if he gets the opportunity. So, as we're now working on lap number 14, this is anyone's guess as to who's going to take this one coming to the end of stage number 1.
It looks like they're pretty calm as of now, but I don't think that's going to last into turn 3 here. Is that...
Tim Harper. My goodness, he got very loose in the back. Wow, almost hit the inside wall. What a save out of Tim Harper.
Well,
wow.
He sends it down under turn 3. It's Cody Dempster. He tries everything he can to steal this first stage victory, but it's not going to be enough. Cody Reeder is going to take the very first stage, and of course, Cody Reeder, one of those names that it's also impressive to see him take the first stage here, but he doesn't have a race victory, although he is up there in the points. He's yet to take race victory here in the Truck Series. Cody Dempster taking second, Brian Jones in third, Bremkamp in fourth, and Jovi Ray. That is going to be your top 5 from that first stage. Guys, that was quite an entertaining first stage, and only one caution so far. I guess I shouldn't have said that and jinxed us, but exciting stuff to see for the opening stage of this race.
My goodness, Trevor, you may want to go back to the tunnel turn there on the final lap of stage 1 and look at Tim Harper's save. I mean, wheel cranked over 90 degrees to the right, pointed at the inside wall. Have no clue how he saved that from ending his day here today.
We'll go ahead and pull it back and see if we can tell here. Get the camera back here on Harper. Let's watch from his perspective as he goes through, coming up to the tunnel turn here. He's exiting near Gladelich. Gladelich dropping low there in the Drift King machine. Harper stays high. Again, this was just a moment ago. Harper coming through tunnel turn. He carries a lot of speed through here, and he gets it extremely sideways. That's a good call, Brady. I'm surprised that he was able to hang on to that one. That was nail-biting for sure, and it doesn't quite go away, so you gotta manage that truck through the corner. He lost all kinds of positions, ending up back in 22nd place, but still some impressive stuff and car control there from Timothy Harper.
Yeah, Tim does not need that to happen to him. I mean, the points are going to mean everything to him here down to the wire, especially if we get a new winner outside of the top 10. He definitely needs to have good, consistent finishes and snag a race win if he can right here before the playoffs start.
Well, what's really interesting here is that 3 truck stayed out. So I'm not entirely sure if that's his strategy. We know these drivers can go around 30 laps on fuel, but I don't know that I would try to bank on that, even with the yellow that we had and the stage break. I don't know if I would want to bank on that in the tire set if I was a 3 car or the 3 truck, but it'll be very interesting to see if he pulls it down to pit lane this time.
Vincent, the only thing I can think of is if he stays out here, he's going to try to split the race in half. I don't really know how that's going to work for him, considering the end of the next stage is at lap 30. So, I mean, I guess it could work out, but I don't know how well his tires are going to hold on. It is going to be a big fall off, I feel like, here.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see if he actually stays out here, but it'll be a pretty interesting race if he does. And it looks like he is going to stay out here, and we're about to go green as we take the 1 to go here.
Well, gentlemen, I'd also like to welcome back to the booth a very familiar voice and someone who was excellent out there on the track in stage number 1, Christian Snyder. Welcome back here to the booth. You got me up here?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Christian. So congratulations on such a great run. I mean, you passed a lot of trucks, and it looked like you had something to say for everybody in the top 5 there in that first stage. How's everything feeling to you out there? How's the race going for you?
It's a little bit loose, but I'm surprised I'm up here, or was up there in the top 10. Ran top 5 in practice, was kind of surprised by that. So I got a pretty good feel for the truck tonight, and we'll see if we can possibly get a win here. I don't know what to do here for the end of the stage. I got to talk with the teammates later and see what the strategy is to get us a win here for full send.
Well, either way, you're looking good out there. We certainly appreciate the VirtualRacing.Network signage. And, of course, you've got some other great drivers in the field. Mark Morton's doing a fabulous job. Of course, yourself just filling in. We were commenting how it's amazing to see you doing the job that you are after so long out of the cockpit. But I'm not personally surprised to see that competitive spirit return. And, of course, Jovi Ray doing an excellent job there in that first stage. So, as I understand it, you say that we're going to be able to watch you here in the green flag run coming out of this restart, and you'll let us listen in, and perhaps we'll be able to talk to you as you're racing.
Yeah, it's going to be a good view because pit strategy kind of put me really far back in the back here. And I chose the outside, so I kind of chose the wrong line. But we'll see. We'll see how this restart goes here for me.
Well, Vincent, Brady, as he gets ready to go and get this restart underway, this is what we're going to see. This is live here from the cockpit of Christian Snyder, who's with us here in the virtual booth, and things go wrong in front. That was a wreck indeed. It was Jovi Ray, your teammate. Christian, everything looking okay out there?
Yeah, I got a little tap from my other teammate, but I think we're fine. I don't know. That was interesting. He kind of ran into me.
I saw bumpers flying off back there, and I was like, "Oh Lord, is that the 8 trucks bumper?"
Well, let's take a look
not
here.
mine, surprisingly.
And it looks like the 75 got into the back of Brian Jones up in front. Let's see if we can back that one up. Brian.
Those are some big names right there that just got involved in that wreck. And unlike the Cup car, these things take damage. So it'll be very interesting to see how that affects them. But
yeah, big talking point, Vince. I mean, even so much as 20 seconds of optional damage at a track like this in the truck could end your day. You know, like you'll be able to out there and still run and make semi pace, but you won't be competitive enough to be able to run inside the top 10 or even as much the top 15.
I'm not quite sure. I think maybe Brian Jones did a little checking up here in front. Let's see if we can tell. Tough to tell. He did take quite the shot from behind, but it doesn't look like he slowed down too much. It looked like Jovi Ray just kind of jumped on it a little bit too early.
Yeah, I think
just looked like a big stack all the way to the front. Like, I mean, honestly, all the way up here, starting right there in front of, I believe is that Cody Reeder? Yes, in front of Cody Reeder. It just seemed like everybody was trying to time the restart and then just kind of got going a little bit too soon. And then
that's what I was going to say. I know I don't have a view of it, but it kind of seemed like everyone was trying to jump the start, and that was an issue in Icon too, so...
So what I see right there is the car that was right in front of Brian. He had that hard checkup. So instead of, rolling to the car in front of you and getting on the brakes, he slammed it expecting a bigger jump or a bigger checkup. And then Brian did the exact same thing. And unfortunately, just Jovi didn't see it in time. And, that's what happens. That's just a racing deal on a restart. I mean, that's what we come to expect at, Martinsville and these other short tracks. But those guys are just trying to get a jump on it, and especially here, I mean, the more track position you can get early in the run, the better you're going to be off, especially because he's got just pits. So trying to get too much too early, and that stack up happened.
So, Christian, how do you manage to get through one of these things and give yourself the room so that you don't make contact with somebody on one of these restarts?
I usually lay back a car length, and I don't try to time it or anything. I just try to follow, and it worked out for me there. But my teammate, I think, got hit in the bumper and then hit me in the bumper. So I don't think there's much damage on the back, but yeah, I got through that one. I saw the car turning, got on the brakes, and got through it.
I don't see anything on your rear deck lid. Everything so far looking okay there in the Snyder Graphics VirtualRacing.Network machine. And have you heard? I mean, I see Brad is in the pits there. I think Brad Fulham there is in the pits. Todd, he's just now coming out through turn 2. So let's see if we can see if there's any damage. I don't see anything to the rear deck lid or the front of Todd Slosson's machine. So perhaps you guys over full send are okay to go.
I hope so. We had a long talk before the race about there's only 2 shots left for Todd and Brad to get into the playoffs, and Todd wasn't there most of practice, only got 3 laps in, so he qualified toward the rear on purpose and wanted to try to learn throughout the race, and we'll see if Todd's able to get it. I really want one of my drivers to get into the playoffs. We've been in the playoffs every season so far that we've been in NORA, so hopefully we can get at least one truck in.
Kind of surprising with the quality of talent that you've got over there, but you're right outside. I mean, Todd had a chance at it on points for sure. He's just 100 points out right now, but he is on the wrong side of that ledger. So exciting stuff for everybody to have a fire lit under them and have to go chase that win. And I'm sure that if you happen to end up in winner's column, you wouldn't be against that either.
Nah, no team orders here. If I can get the win over Todd, I'll try to get it. But I mean, if he's in second, maybe I'll let him by. But I don't know. I really want to win.
Well, we did see Kurt Quist hold on there despite having no pit stop, no new tires. Certainly going to be the lighter truck out there, so a little bit less fuel, a little bit more speed. But guys, I think those no tire call that's really going to catch up with them very shortly into this stage.
Yeah, but I think that caution bailed him out. I think it gave him some more time, less green flag laps until the stage break, which is coming here in 9 laps. I mean, we're going to take the green flag and only have 8 laps to go. So, maybe he lucks out and gets another yellow, or maybe he can hold on to the track position. But I think overall, it's a bold strategy, and we'll see if it pays off.
Well, it's certainly cool to have some YouTube fans out there checking in with us. Hello to Chad Engel waving to us. Dustin Kleba says that Reader guy knows how to turn left. Of course, good friend and teammate to Cody Reader, Dustin Kleba is. And Steven Dombrowski says, I'm here for Ronnie. Not talking that much, watching the big screen. Hope you're enjoying the show out there. And Ronnie is back in the field a ways. Currently sitting in 18th spot, but he can certainly race it out from there. Sean Briscoe and Josh Conover racing it out for second place here on the track. Cody Height on YouTube and Martin Plute racing it out for third. And this is just quite a gaggle going all the way back through this field.
I think the field should be hearing Jaws music right now. The fact that 17 truck is in P2 on lap 22. I think it's...
Vincent, though, big talking point, though. This 3 truck, look at this pace right here.
Yeah,
I mean, he's holding on. I mean, he's up and out of the groove now here. I don't know if that third lane is going to turn as well, but maybe it will on those older tires. But here comes Conover.
Here comes Conover indeed, challenging for that top spot. And in the meantime, we jump back here, and we do have a yellow flag.
Yep, that's on me.
Christian, tell me, say it ain't so, my friend.
I net-coded Ronnie.
Net-coded one of the stars of the YouTube chat room. Well, we'll jump back here and see if we can tell exactly what happened.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't get into him. It got really close to him. Yeah.
Oh, my word. And I do see that Todd Slauson also got caught up in that mess. Let's see if we jump back a little bit further. and we can get over the top of this mess exactly what happened to Mr. Christian Snyder. It was looking so good until that point, Christian.
Yeah, I'll take that one, Josh. Yeah, I got a little bit tight there. Brian Jones into the corner kind of sent it into me. Not into me, but inside of me, and caused me to look up in the mirror, and I pushed it a little bit too hard, so.
Well, as we
I don't
look
think the
on,
damage was actually too bad.
not for you, but looking back, it looks like the 6 of Norman, I don't know if he shed a part, but I do know that Slauson ended up getting a little bit of damage, at least to his left rear. We'll take a look here and see if we can see Slauson and what exactly he got. 43, I see, took a couple of shots, and up into the wall he goes. So that's Mark Morton for Full Send Motorsports. So it looks like several within the Full Send Motorsports team having issues. And either way, Christian, we do appreciate you joining with us, and we know you guys got to figure out how to get this one back into control for Full Send Motorsports and get all of you guys back up there into the front. So thanks for checking in with us tonight. And of course, we wish you the best here with the end of stage 2 and to finish out this race.
Yeah, I got to go apologize to my teammates there for that one. So yeah, I got some bonuses going their way for that one.
Yep, some politicking to do. Well, good having with us, Christian, and we'll talk to you after the race, my friend.
Yep, talk to you.
So that was Christian Snyder, and it doesn't always go the way that you want it to go out there. Sometimes things don't exactly work out in your favor or your team's favor, and you got to go and apologize to everybody for making a small mistake.
I've been there, done that a lot. But I'd like to point out another thing, too, in that wreck. Ronnie Norman, another great save. I mean, other than that Netco contact with Christian, I mean, absolutely amazing save there on the front stretch to keep it out of the wall and save his day here today.
Well, let's go back. We'll take a look at that one as everyone is making pit stops at the moment. And we'll see what he saw from his cockpit coming up to this incident. There he is racing. He sees a little wiggle from Walterman up in front. And then...
Oh, man. Oh, that was almost day over. That would have been a front clip and a half. He would have been done for sure. But wonderful save by Ronnie.
That's some serious danger zone stuff right there. But, of course, Ronnie, good survivor out there. He's shed a couple of lives, though, tonight. Finds himself back there in 20th place. And guys, it's one of those things, too, where, sometimes you think, well, I'll run mid-pack, I'll run a little bit further back. I won't be involved in all that chaos that's going on up in the top 5. I'll wait it out to the end before I make my move. But sometimes at the back, things get checked up. Somebody starts weaving around, and you've got all kinds of different problems that happen in the back of the pack.
Yeah, especially at this track. I mean, Pocono is so big, and it is such a draft pack such a drafting racetrack that honestly it's kind of hard to pass, because you can get a run on somebody and get to their inside, but if nobody else goes with you, you're sitting duck, and you're just going to get freight trained on the outside.
Yeah, it's been interesting to watch cars or trucks try to actually get those passes done out there. It is one thing to get that huge draft, especially on this front straightaway, but you can pull to the inside, and a lot of times that inside line is just not the right line to be able to get the maximum run out of the corner. Or you can try and hold on the outside, but you end up taking such a long way around through the corner to get a decent run off. It's difficult to pick the perfect line to go with for a lot of these drivers. But you got to do what you can, right? You got to take whatever opportunity is available to you.
That is very true. And one of the things, I mentioned it earlier, but this caution, that's just helping the 3 truck. I mean, we're only 4 laps to the stage here. By the time we go green, it'll be 3. He won't have to hold on for very much longer, and I think the strategy is a huge success.
I mean, my goodness, me and Vincent up here crucifying him, but man, the dude's looking like Albert Einstein out here, making phenomenal decisions, paying off big time so far. I mean, if he only runs 3 laps here, is able to maintain his track position, he could still come off here in the lead.
Hey, I'm a fan of these bold strategies, especially early in these races. I mean, in stage 2, if it doesn't work out for him, we still got another pit stop to come, and then we got the longest stage of the race afterwards. So, I really applaud his bravery, trying to do something a little different, and I mean, look at it. It's paid off for him so far.
Well, look at some of these other drivers that have made a lot of ground up. 10 spots for Martin Plute. For Blade Timmons Racing, Josh Conover, he's made up 8 spots. Timothy Harper sitting here in 4th place right now. He's made up 6 spots. Sean Briscoe, he's drifted back a spot, but you've got Cody Hyde on YouTube back here. He's 13 spots gained. So some of these drivers really come from a long ways back and have been playing the strategy just right with these yellows. Let's see how it all works out. We might get ourselves a nice long green flag run until the end of this stage.
Yes, they're approaching the Geico restart zone, and the 3 jumps early. He went as soon as he could, and that's a huge jump out there. We'll see if he'll be able to hold that into turn 1. I think he might be all right. He got a pretty decent jump out there, so we saw the restart before. He overdrove it into turn 1. Let's see if he makes the same mistake. It looks like he's able to get to the bottom there that time. But like we were saying behind, Josh Conover and the 2 of Martin Plute side by side, and Timothy Harper.
We've got some
Brian Jones in the back in a wreck. Oh my goodness, big implications there.
Brian Jones, our points leader, finally gets caught up in one of these incidents that he's been just barely avoiding. Looks like a few different trucks were involved in that one, so we'll have to back it up and see. But Brian Jones at the center of that, and of course, just trying to stay in the lead of this championship and win this regular NORA Truck Series championship regular season. He gets a little loose coming through the corner, and then I believe that's Walterman who just comes over right in front of him, got loose on the corner and just wiped him out as they came through the tunnel turn there. We'll take one more look at that one. And I mean, you see Walterman there on the very outside in that number 1 truck, and as we roll it ahead, you can see Walterman starting to bring that truck down, and Jones on the inside just trying to follow it through, following the 76 truck, and Walterman really gets rattled coming off of that corner, just plows into the 76 and manages to right himself, the number 1 does, but that sends Jones into that inside wall. So let's take a look how it looked from on board with Brian Jones. This is not going to be a pleasant ride.
Yeah, the 1 truck being up there in the marbles, I mean, that just didn't benefit him on exit at all. And those dirty tires, I'm sure, are probably very slick on exit.
Well, we'll back it up and see what exactly went on over in the number 1 truck. Unfortunately, wiping out 2 other trucks in the process, coming off that high side, right over into the 76. And he had no way of even knowing that he came over and clipped Brian Jones.
Yeah, it's just a truly unfortunate incident. I mean, he was a bystander, but I think, again, this whole situation just glorifies the track position versus tires argument. I mean, the 3 car, that was the end of the stage right there. I mean, this paid off for him big time as he gets a stage win and he gets all this track position. But, Brian Jones running in the top 3, he was running in the top 5. He had a really, really strong truck tonight, but he decided to stay out under that first yellow, come down at the stage break, get tires. He got back in the pack, and, that's just sometimes how it goes. You get stuck up in, you get caught up in other people's business, and, that's just racing.
Well,
some bold calls here from Cody Reeder, Brad Fulham, Todd Slauson, and Chris Snyder. Look like that full send team just said, hey, get us away from this mess here in the back. Let's get up towards the front and get some track position.
Yeah, and with the number of yellows out there, kind of seems like a safe call to do so, as looks like Martin Plute, the best of the rest to get off of pit lane. And he did it with just a simply faster pit stop time. Tim Harper second, Kurt Quist in third. So some different leaders going to be coming around this time, of course, with Cody Reeder sticking it out there, as you mentioned. Fulham in second, Slauson in third, Chris Snyder in fourth. Martin Plute is the best of the rest with those fresh tires, so only 4 laps newer tires than everyone else.
Timothy Harper, his pit crew, they must have had something great for breakfast, because that was an 11.9 second pit stop. Everybody else was like around 14 seconds, but Timothy was 11. That is incredible.
What are the chances that he only took 2 that time? Because I think 2 is about 10 seconds on pit road.
I feel like 2 tires is usually around 8 to 9 seconds, but if he did take 2 tires there, that'll be very interesting to see if it pays out. Because I was talking to Nick Geilis before the race, and he said how terrible 2 tires were, even on only a couple laps on those left sides. So we'll see if it pays off for him. I will say though, I am not a huge fan of this strategy out of the top 4. Yes, they have the track position now, and yes, there might be more yellows, but they're gonna have to pit where everybody else is good to go to the end, or at least should be. So even if we get those yellows and everybody else stays out, those 4 pit, they're right back into the same position that Brian Jones was just finding himself in.
Well, of course, we got to go 30 laps in this final stage. So, I mean, you would assume that if a caution does fall at the right time, they at least will be able to pit from the front if they can stay out there in front, which is easier said than done with how hard these others are charging through the field. But, I mean, we're just talking theoretical strategy. If a caution were to fall sometime around 10 laps into this stage or 15 laps into this stage, they'd be able to cut it in half. They could come in towards the front, take on new tires with everyone else, which I'm sure everyone else will do, and then head back out there with the track position. But is that going to happen that way? Is everybody else going to gamble and stay out there on old tires? Are we even going to get another caution? I mean, my money's on probably there being another caution, but, every time I think that, we go, a very long time with a green flag run. So I'm just glad you guys are the ones that are the drivers out there and have to make these calls.
Yeah, I would. This is definitely a race where strategy is going to play a massive factor in it, and I'm glad I'm up here in the booth and I'm not down here calling the race for one of these drivers or driving it and having to call the race for myself.
Well, this is just a bold strategy call from these drivers. We'll have to see if it pays off. It's always exciting to watch on and see whether or not anyone can make those strategy calls work. We're back underway here with Cody Reeder in front at Pocono. Todd Slauson for Full Send Motorsports in second place. Brad Fulham in third. Martin Plute has already jumped up there a spot. And I was going to say, it looked like the 91 got a little loose there. Brad Fulham perhaps on entry.
Big moment there.
And now here comes Todd Slauson to challenge for the lead on the inside, heading into turn number 2.
And they're heading down into the tunnel turn side by side. This is going to be very, very sketchy. Ooh, looks like they're both going to make it off the corner all right. The 22 gets a little loose, which is allowing Martin Plute to get back to his outside, which might be the preferred position if he can stay there. But the 22 dives it back in there, and he's on the inside here out of turn 3. It's going to be a drag race. It's really going to see who Martin goes with here. That's going to be the person who comes out the leader, as we are 3 wide back in the pack for a moment. Looks like Martin chose to push can't see who that is.
Cody Reeder.
Cody Reeder. It looks like he's gonna keep the lead here, and Martin's gonna try to follow him there on the outside.
Well, not a surprise to see Cody Reeder doing so spectacularly at the front of this race. He's got a lot of experience leading these NORA races. Certainly that KPR Motorsports team doing a fabulous job since they've come in here. But Martin Plute now pushes that truck back up into second. And it's Todd Slauson who's still hanging on to third. Still a lot of movement further back, though. Christian Snyder racing side by side with Brad Fulham, his teammate.
3 wide going into 3. Don't mean to interrupt, but the 33 sent it down on the inside of that 3 truck, and they are 3 wide coming out of turn 3.
Harper makes contact on the outside, but he manages to save it. Some of these trucks really ping-ponging all over the place, but so far we stay clean and they race on. Still the top three, Reeder, Plute, and Slauson, followed by Snyder, Fulham, Height, and Harper. Dempster and Quist now racing side by side for 8th spot as Fulham and Harper race side by side down the straightaway.
And they're racing so hard. I mean, it is the beginning of the stage, and I know it is go time, but oh, they're just, the 33 washes up and almost takes out another driver. It's incredible how much these drivers are pushing this early in the run.
And is this killing their tires right now, Vincent?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every time you slide a tire, you overheat the surface, which just builds the pressure up, and then the more ill handling your car is going to, or your truck's going to be, especially in this dirty air. So I'm absolutely shocked. I think the drivers that are maybe a little further back that aren't having to push their tires, they're going to be better off later in the run. But all of this battling is just giving the leaders time to pull away. I mean, the top 4 or 5, you know, they've been single file this entire run, minus the first couple laps. So they've been able to just sit, conserve the tires, run their own pace, while these guys in the back, you know, are pushing all out. So I think when it comes to long run stuff, they're just giving them more of an advantage.
You know, another big thing is it doesn't matter how much tire you have here, especially if that line of cars in the top 5 gets to be about 6 seconds away, you know, unless you have help that's just as quick as you and saved as much tire as you have, you do not have hardly any chance of getting up there to them in the lead pack.
Yeah, one of the things that I love most about Pocono is it really rewards the slow in, fast out approach, which I feel like is very, very close to my driving style, as we have a battle for second place here. But it really rewards that, and the long run speed comes from that, but it's not as big of a factor as short run. So we're really going to be able to see here, if this run continues green, who values that slow in, fast out tire saving, and who values that just overall straight speed.
Oh, and Plute gets wild there coming off the corner. Now we've got a 3 wide headed into turn number 3. That's Cody Height in the blue number 16, Christian Snyder in the number 8, and Todd Slauson in the 22 with the number 99 of Timothy Harper now getting into that mix as well.
This is just incredible racing. It's a mix between IndyCar, the old Gen 6 550 package, and Daytona and Talladega. I mean, this has been something very, very fun to watch.
Tim Harper driving from deep in the field up here. I mean, making it now to 6th, and very impressive of him, for him to drop through the field like this. Obviously has newer tires and stuff, but now up to 5th, challenging Cody Height.
He's now racing for that 4th position with Cody Height just barely hanging on to it there through the tunnel turn. A lot of correction on that steering wheel. Looking at the back side of Christian Snyder, who's racing in 3rd. Now Christian being the top Full Send Motorsports driver. Of course, first time that Christian has even sat in that seat for a very long time. It's been since the All-Star race since he's been able to get into the cockpit. As you mentioned, having some injuries, but here we've got a battle for the lead. Martin Plute sends it down the inside on Cody Reeder.
Let's see if he'll be
Christian
able to.
Snyder right here. He can try and get a good run off the corner while these two are battling side by side. Oh, looks like Martin. Oh, still side by side here.
We're going to see if he sends it into turn 3 here, or 3 wide into the tunnel turn, or if he's going to push it. And it looks like he's going to push Cody Reeder, which is a smart decision, but it's also putting himself on the outside of this tunnel turn as Martin battles back. I mean, Martin is just not giving up. He's like a pit bull who is bitten down on something. He is not letting go. He is trying to fight for everything it's worth for this lead. I think he's very much valuing track position over tire saving right now.
And here comes Tim Harper. We know he's aggressive. Here he comes to the middle. Oh, Cody Height looking 3 wide bottom now. Oh, Tim Harper!
Oh, he turns himself. Big wreck as Todd Slauson gets involved. So does
Two
the
full send
91.
cars.
78
My
goes
goodness.
around. Huge
Nick
wreck.
Gotts gets a piece. Oh, man. Tough break for Tim Harper. That's going to hurt in the points.
A lot of good trucks taken out in that.
A lot of front-running trucks taken out in that one, and he wasn't the one who caused it, but I did notice Cody Height managed to clip that curbing on the inside of turn number 3, which is always something that can catch you out. But let's see if we can tell exactly what happened. I know Tim Harper was caught in the middle of this one, so let's see if we can get overhead and we can tell exactly what happened here. Back it up just a ways as we come into the corner. Give us a chance to check this one out. But you see Harper there in the number 99 on the inside of Christian Snyder. It's on the outside. And looks like Harper kind of drifting up in the middle of the corner. And as we go through, now it looks like he tries to, he just kind of drifts up the track. It looks like the 48 and him make contact, and Harper, I think he just didn't quite have the truck under control coming off of the corner. It looks like he just got a little bit too loose riding the truck out. We'll see if we can jump on board and tell exactly what happened.
Yeah, it looked like he just dove it in turn 3, trying to get everything it's worth, and he placed all that weight on the right front and off the corner. When that weight shifts to the right rear and you get the little bit of loose, he started chasing it, and unfortunately just ran out of real estate there.
Yeah, when you get that slide, it is so hard to catch it in these trucks anywhere. It doesn't matter where it is. Just tough break for Tim. I mean, I know he was only 33 points above the cut, and he needed everything he can. So, good thing for him to get stage points, but just tough. Needs all the points he can have.
Well, a lot of good trucks caught up in this one. This was from Todd Slauson's point of view. Wow.
Nowhere to go.
Literally a truck blocking the entire way to get through that one.
Yeah, I mean, he had, he did what he was supposed to. He backed her down, and, there's just nowhere to go. It's either that or risk turning yourself off of somebody else's nose while trying to go down the track.
And here's Brad Fulham's point of view. Of course, another one of those full send drivers who's trying to get a win and get into the playoffs.
Oh.
And unfortunately, it doesn't, as long as these are glancing blows, these are things you can recover from out here as long as you don't pop anything. But it sounds like he can't get that one going again. Oh, there is a lot of damage on the front of that one, though.
I mean, you look at the RPMs, he was sitting around 1,000, maybe less, and, these things idle. I think around 1,300, but, that's still, when you're down RPM, that means you're down horsepower. You got a lot of engine damage, so we'll see if he's able to fix it. But at a power-sensitive track like Pocono, I mean, you're gonna want all the power and aerodynamics you can get. So I think his race, unless something crazy happens, which is very, very possible, I think his race is pretty much done.
Well, Grant Brown for FAFO Motorsports gets it underway again. A little bit of damage on that 76. Brad Fulham able to get back out there. Todd Schneider also able to get back going again. And it does look like Todd Slauson will roll once again. They've done some good work over there at Full Send Motorsports. Thank you, Vincent.
Oh, that was Brady.
Brady?
I had my mic muted on the wrong one. Sorry.
You guys having a drinking game over there, Brady? Is that what's happening? Every caution.
Oh, Lord, man, now I'm embarrassing myself. Goodness.
Well, look who's taken over the lead of the race, and we ceased communication, let him focus, and this is what happens. I guess we know what we should be doing up here in the booth. But Christian Snyder managing to survive and stay ahead of that incident, and he's going to take over the lead. Now, he is still on the same tires, so now 14 laps. And Vincent, is this a good move to stay out there and hold on to the front of this one with a chance at another yellow flag, or was this the time that you think he should have come in and taken the new tires?
Personally, I think he should have pit, but I don't know his fuel situation exactly. I have a rough estimate of what lap he can go to, but I don't know for sure, what his actual fuel level is. So I think if he can make it on fuel from here, or at least is very close, barring a cautioner or two, I think it might be a very good strategy here. But it looks like he pit at the end of stage 2, and we've had 2 or 3 yellows since then. So, he might have been able to save a little bit of fuel here or there, or, it might just pay off for him. So I know I said it was a bad strategy with those 4 cars, staying out, and it paid off for them, and it paid off for the 3 truck earlier. So I'll hold my breath with this one, but hoping the best for Christian.
Well, Christian Snyder is going to lead us back to the green flag. You'll get credit for leading a lap here in the NORA Truck Series at Pocono. Appreciate everybody sticking with us here, and you're going to be watching a great conclusion to this race here. We've seen so much action, so many different strategies, and still a lot to come as we've got Cody Reeder in second place. He's got some basically brand new tires. Martin Plude has brand new tires. I do wonder if Christian Snyder is about to become a sitting duck here, as these others with new tires are just going to be able to possibly drive right around him. Sean Briscoe back there in 4th, Cody Dempster in 5th, Cody Height in 6th place, and Kurt Quist in 7th. Who is it going to be that's going to get up there and challenge Christian Snyder? Well, here comes Sean Briscoe in a hurry, and he's towing along a couple of drivers, including Cody Height.
Yeah, it looks like they're a little more spread out than they have been in the prior restarts, but the 3 truck is going to go with the 16. The 8's trying to break the draft. I think I think the best thing that could happen for Christian here is for somebody to go up there and challenge Martin, because as long as Martin is able to run the line that he wants, those tires are going to pay off. So as we see him closing in on the 8.
Oh, 23.
23 involved. No caution as of yet. David McGuire, he's going to pull it into the pits. We'll have to back up and check that one out here in just a moment.
Yeah, it threw the caution, Trevor.
They did throw the caution. Okay, so McGuire, and it does show that Christian Snyder's still in the lead. I saw that Plude had pulled down. So let's take a look and see if we can tell exactly what happened with McGuire here as he now sits on pit road. Unfortunately, actually, he's just left pit road, so we'll have to check and see on that. But here he was at the back end of the field, and he just gets sideways coming off the corner, and see if we can get overhead this time and really get a good view at it. But McGuire coming through the corner, gets loose, just tags the back end of another truck, spreads some parts out across the track, and exits that vehicle safely, and back into the pits he goes. And so we are, yes,
showing off that new damage model.
We've been enjoying that new damage model. In fact, last night it was quite interesting. We witnessed a car run right over a piece of debris on the track, and that actually made them go sideways. And so it's coming into effect. I remember when they first were introducing the new damage model, it had a lot more effect to the cars that run over debris, and then they took that away because it was apparently too much. But I know that now that they're bringing it back, it will definitely change how you go through incidents and whether you run over debris, etc.
Oh, yeah, definitely when they first introduced that, I remember it very, very vividly. It was Sonoma week. And in the old Gen 6 cars, and that year that we ran the carousel, the old layout, and man, I got out of line one time, just minor little bumps destroyed my front suspension. So glad they went away with it for a little bit, worked on it, brought it back, but now it's been a good addition to the top series of NASCAR, and especially these Craftsman trucks. The NORA Truck Series, they put on a great show, and when they wreck, you get punished for it.
One big thing I'm noticing is that this strategy right now for Chris Snyder is paying off big time. Looking more like, honestly, track position is paying off way more than tires at this point in the race. And you got to be thinking, Vincent, too. And Trevor, are these caution laps helping him have enough fuel for the finish? And is that what he's looking for? As long as he can hold the lead or be within the top 3, ready to strike, is he going to stay out? And then another thing, on the other hand, too, Cody Reeder, throughout that run, seeing him be one of the fastest trucks all night, top 2 fastest, but preparing for that long run and losing just a little bit of track position and was backing off, letting some guys go and trying to save his stuff, but obviously not paying off as we'll only have a 15-lap dash here to the finish.
Well, certainly Chris Snyder coming in on lap 24. If he had to do it with all green flag laps, 36 laps, I don't think he would have been even close on fuel. But here, I think with all these caution laps, it is a possibility. The question is whether the tires are going to be good enough if you get an extended green flag run. And as you said, you know, the more of these caution laps where we can cool down the tires, the more this helps Christian Snyder to keep it within that range where he may not get beaten on that. I do want to talk about over in our YouTube chat room, Chad Ingle saying hopefully he'll be able to do the full race tomorrow night. It's a little hard with the newborn. Yes, we certainly understand that. And you got your priorities where they should be with your family. And we wish you all the best over there, Chad. And, of course, we'll love having you out there when you can. And hopefully it can take your mind off of some of those newborn responsibilities, give you some fun to go play around out there on the track again. And also, Bamboni-tastic, I tried to reach out to the Facebook page, see if y'all were accepting people to the league. Guys, NORA Truck's still accepting people, right?
They should be.
Absolutely, we have plenty of rides. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll talk to Josh Conover, my team boss and the owner of the league. I'll talk to him after the race for you. See if we can get you in here.
Yeah, if you go to that Facebook page and reach out, there should be links to join our Discord, or I mean, you can even DM right there to that league page. And Josh is typically quick to reach back out, and always looking for new people and to fill slots for Mondays and Tuesday nights.
Yeah, that's the big thing is with these owners points, owners entries that are available. Anybody out there who's got some experience in these trucks or cup cars on Tuesday nights, if you want to slot in and fill in for owners points and not necessarily race for drivers points, there's a great way to get exposed to the NORA Truck and Cup Series, and you'll be helping out some of these owners who have open spots that are available, and you can make a great name for yourself like Jovi Ray did last week at Mid-Ohio, doing some great stuff here in the NORA Truck Series, and certainly just filling in for Full Send Motorsports. And out there tonight, he was leading as well. Christian Snyder, not a full-time driver's points driver out there, but he's filling in to one of his vehicles at Full Send Motorsports for tonight and doing a bang-up job. He's in the lead. But guys, Sean Briscoe going to be starting alongside. He's got much fresher tires. Is it game over for Christian Snyder at the front, or are we going to see Christian Snyder be able to hold on? Buckle up. Here we go once again. The green flag is out on lap number 46, and we are underway.
I think as long as Christian keeps getting that sort of jump, I think he'll be okay. With the way the cautions have been falling, I think as if things continue to play out how they've been playing out, then I think he'll be all right. But what he wants to see right now is he wants to see that 2-car get on the outside of Sean Briscoe, and he is just barely there. The more those 2 cars are side by side behind him, the better it is for him. They're fighting each other and losing time, and he's able to sail off into the distance. And we know those tires are going to catch up to him. So the bigger gap he can get early, the better. But Martin Plute just cleared himself, so it'll be interesting to see how much time he makes up here in turn 3.
Yeah, and Christian, when he gets in dirty air, oh boy, it is going to push hard to be very, very tight on that race truck. So he just has to maintain this lead. There he is breaking the draft, just trying to maintain this lead as much as he can.
Cody Hyde on YouTube now into third. He's starting to bring that Hollinger racing machine up forward. This is some exciting stuff. He's now on the outside of Sean Briscoe, fighting hard for that third spot, but Plute has reached the back bumper of Christian Snyder and now tries to stuff it down the inside as we head into the infamous tunnel turn.
Christian
oh boy, Christian's tight here, man.
He just doesn't have the grip. He looks like he's been overdriving the corners. He hasn't really hit the bottom at all, and unfortunately, even with the older tires, all the handling characteristics are just exacerbated. So it's unfortunate. We'll see if he's able to hold on here, but he did lose the lead.
Well, now you've got Martin Plute up into that lead in his familiar yellow Love's truck. Currently taking over, but right now there's a charge mounting, and it's Cody Height who now pulls to the outside on Martin Plute.
Wow. What a power move.
Absolutely making a power move to the outside, and here comes Cody Height to the lead.
Cody Height looking for 2 in a row here as he charges down. Wow. Charges down in the tunnel turn, gets Martin Plute right across. Martin Plute in the wall.
He's in the wall.
Oh my goodness, yeah. They fed him all the dirty air, shoving his car straight to the wall. And then there's Christian Snyder capitalizing, but overdriving turn 3. Oh Lord, 3 wide behind him. This is a mess right here, exiting 3.
Oh man, what wonderful racing we're getting here. I hope we continue to stay green because this is absolutely amazing. I mean, this is what we come for. As Josh Conover is sticking it in the bottom, almost 4 wide here in the back. Man, this is some good racing. This is why we watch on Monday nights.
Well, the trucks have not been any disappointment here on VirtualRacing.Network, and we're getting a heck of a show here from Pocono. Christian Snyder hanging on to that 3rd spot somehow, but it's Cody Height who has taken over the lead, and now Cody Dempster in 2nd place, and that's 3 different makes in the top 3. Ford, Toyota, and Chevy now represented in that podium position. But Height and Dempster pulling out a little bit of a gap on Snyder. I think right now Snyder perhaps causing the others to stack up behind just a little bit. We'll see whether or not Quist can make that move down the inside for Flatline Motorsports. He gets the draft coming down the front straightaway, and now we've got a move by Dempster for the lead over Cody Height, and he'll pull it off before they even get into turn 1.
Man, it is the Cody and Cody show, and Cody Dempster has been wicked fast the past 2 laps. I mean, I'm really interested to see if he's able to hold on the pace, but like, look how much he's pulling off at turn 1. That's incredible. We haven't seen that all night, and now he comes out of absolutely nowhere. And we saw the move that Cody Height put on. I mean, that power move, and then the 48 passed him on the straightaway. Didn't even have to pass him in the corner. Man, the pace out of the 48 here is absolutely ridiculous.
48 all of a sudden having all kinds of speed. The 16 of Cody Height still hanging on in that 2nd spot, and about an even 5 or 6 truck length back gap to Christian Snyder for Full Send Motorsports, who somehow is still getting the speed out of this machine despite still having significantly older laps than everyone else around him. 14 laps older tires than everyone else around him. Now it seemed like he caught Cody Height just a little bit, but here comes the 3 down to the inside. It's Kurt Quist to try to steal that podium position.
I think one of the things that's been helping Christian is, when you're out in the lead and you're in a tire. Oh, there's a big wreck. Oh, Christian gets involved in that one. That is so unfortunate for those 3 drivers. That was wonderful racing up until that point.
Well, they were racing so tight there for so long, it was just a matter of time until something happened. And unfortunately, it looks like the Full Send Motorsports driver caught up in the middle of that one. Let's see if we can replay this one from above and see exactly what happened here. So we take a look. There's Christian Snyder in the 8 machine just in front, the number 3, and it does look like some contact there.
Yeah, Mark Bremkamp just jogged a little bit to the left on entry. Looked like he was going to take his entry a little bit earlier than Kurt and Christian were, and I guess did not have the inside call and kind of got into the left rear of Kurt, turning him into Christian.
Well, let's see if we can back this one up and see it from Bremkamp's point of view, and perhaps that'll tell us a little bit more about what he saw coming to this incident. Just gets right up on the backside there of Snyder, but I don't know. He starts his turn, as you said, Vincent, a little bit earlier than the others, and unfortunately, you can't do that if there's a truck in the way.
And it's such an easy mistake to do. I mean, when you're right on the back bumper, a lot of the field of views that these guys run, I mean, you can't really see anything besides, the spoiler and the rear clip of the guys in front of you. So, just such a small movement, such an easy mistake to make. And, you know, at this point in the race, we're all side drafting each other really, really hard. And, you know, a little bit of net code, and that's all it takes.
That's what I was about to say. It looked like a slight case of netcode there, honestly. I mean, there was still that paper-thin gap there, but, I mean...
So we jump on board with Ronnie Norman, who came through the field. This was a very, very close moment for a number of these drivers, including the number 3 just up in front.
Whoa.
And that is, you know, you only get so many lives to use when you're out around these racetracks, and you hope that you don't get caught out in one of these things. Unfortunate to see some of these drivers get into the middle of it. Now, I do want to take a little bit further of a look at Bremkamp, because I'm not sure if he got into more of a wreck. He does get into more of a wreck here.
That's a wheel disconnect right there. That is a wheel disconnect, the way he just shot left like that. Something definitely went wrong mechanically on his side of things.
Back it up and see one more time. See if we jump on board. I'm sure as we take a look here. Yes.
Yeah, that's a wheel disconnect.
Oh, man, that is a tough break.
Well, unfortunate for Bremkamp, but I'm sure he felt bad about the way that things went down, leading to this next caution. But it does shake things up. We're going to have a whole new set of drivers up here in the top 5, except for Dempster, Height. They were there before, but now Briscoe, Cody Reeder, Josh Conover, that is going to be your top 5. And there's Torrance Schertz. Schertz, of course, needs as many points as he can get to get into these playoffs here, and right now he's sitting in 6th place.
Well, while we were looking at the replays, we had a lot of pit stops. Big players such as Martin Plute and Dylan Walterman. I mean, they came down to pit road, and you know, they got fresh tires. You know, and we saw how hard they were racing. So these guys who stayed out, you know, they probably got pretty worn tires. You know, maybe not the pressures where they want them to be at, and although they have time under yellow to, you know, cool them down, they've gone through that heat cycle and they've cured a little bit, so they don't have the flexibility and just the overall grip that these new tires have. So it'll be really, really interesting to see who's able to make their way through the field here. They'll have to get through a lot of traffic, but if we go green, there's a lot of time to do it.
You know, big movers right there on the choose cone. We had 4 trucks choose the outside lane, and Torrance Schertz pulled down and went from basically restarting in row 4 to now being in row 2 inside. So great choose by him as he saw all those guys come and line up on the outside.
Yeah, and a beautiful 33 scheme there. Just love seeing the 33 up front.
Well, certainly you were talking about the different tire strategies. The front end driver of that new tire strategy there on the yellow flags is Ronnie Norman, and he sits right back here in 11th place, or excuse me, in 10th place after the choose cone. So Steven Dombrowski out there in YouTube chat land going to be happy to know that his guy has got the freshest tires of the bunch, and he's only got to come through 9 other trucks, find his way to victory lane. But he's got to go through some pretty tough competition out there. We got Cody Dempster. He's racing for a brand new team, looking for a win out there in owner's points. Cody Height racing for owner's points. He's already taken victory here. Cody Height has in the NORA Truck Series, but he's looking for another one, this time on an oval. Sean Briscoe and Torrance Schertz. Jacob Gladelich already taken victory, but Cody Reeder has not. So this is going to be interesting here as we come back to this green flag. Who wants it? Going to be just a few laps remaining here in this race. And we're back under green. Cody Dempster leads us back with a sizable jump over the rest of the field.
And we talked about it earlier, but I think it's important to note that Ronnie Norman is on 2 tires. He had an 8.9 second pit stop. That is 2 tires if I've ever seen it. Martin Plute had a very, very long stop of 28 seconds. Something definitely must have gone wrong there. But we'll see how 2 tires works out for him, as they are 3 wide off of turn 1 here.
We got
There's
a lot of movement,
shuffling.
a lot of shuffling back here in the field. Everybody knows that this is go time here. As we are winding down the laps here at Pocono for round number 15 of the NORA Truck Series. They're racing hot and heavy here for second place. This is Sean Briscoe and Cody Height. Remember, Briscoe also doesn't have a win, shockingly. He would love to do that here in the regular season. Cody.
Oh, big moment to the back in the 91. Pushes him around, but he saves it. Almost, I think. I don't know. Timothy Harper in the back is just...
Harper, my goodness.
He has been put through the ringer tonight. And the fact that if he saved that, that was ridiculous. My camera cut away too soon, but he was loose as all get out, got shoved around by the 91, and somehow managed to keep it straight. What a night for him.
He's had a couple of huge saves, and if he just finishes this one, it'll be an accomplishment considering how close to disaster he's been in, but they're pushing each other down this straightaway. Conover gets
Josh
loose.
Conover gets put in the wall.
Oh my goodness. Looked like a shove gone wrong behind from Dylan Walterman entering the corner, and that's all she wrote.
Conover dropping through the field. We
not a
stay
happy
green
camper.
here. Cody Dempster still in the lead. Second place being held on to by Sean Briscoe. Third by Torrance Schertz. This is going to be a great payoff of points for Schertz in that championship hunt. Cody Height back there in fourth and Gladelich in fifth. We've still got more movement further back. Luke coming.
Jake Gladelich in the third lane up there with Dylan Walterman getting a big run off of turn one right here on Cody Height.
Oh, we got a wreck in the back.
There's
We got a
Luke.
wreck in the back. It looked like Todd Slauson gave a bump to the 3 truck, and it just went wrong.
Yeah, the
Oh, that
3
was
was
so
basically
unfortunate.
wrecking for several corners in a row, and it finally caught up. Unfortunately for Quist. Not Quist. Who was I just looking at?
It's the good wrench car. I think somebody has the wrong
Ian
paint scheme
Clark.
on.
Yeah, I believe wrong paint scheme. Showing him in the 82.
Ian Clark indeed has the wrong number on, and he'll be fined at least $10,000 or $20,000 by NORA for having that wrong livery displayed. But let's see if we can take a look back here at what took place. This is Ian Clark on the outside, Martin Plute on the inside, and Todd Slauson just behind. And if we can jump over the top, let's see. As Slauson ends up getting into the back of Clark and sends him around, and of course catches out Plute in the process. It's amazing. Martin Plute, as you had just mentioned, having a problem with his pit stop, and as a result ending up in a place where that could happen. And oh, looks like a little bit of a shove there coming from Harper, who obviously does not approve of Clark's antics out there, letting him know that.
It's just frustration. I mean, when we come to the end of these races, I mean, everybody's so tense. Everybody is so frustrated just from the day that they've had. They've been concentrating for so long here, and they want to win this as much as anybody else, and they want to improve their position. So it's just frustration boiling over.
Well, guys, 7 incident cautions in this one, but we do have 3 to go. We're going to get the green, white checkered as they come around, and we'll get a couple of opportunities to go through that process. Jacob Gladelich almost biting on that run over to the pit lane from Cody Height, but neither one of them actually making that trip down pit lane. What do you do here if you're Sean Briscoe and you want to take your very first victory here in the NORA Truck Series?
You got to get a really good restart, and it's kind of hard to do with the way the leader has been able to get the huge jump on all of these restarts. So he's got to have the help behind him. He's got to hope that the help behind him and himself both get really good jumps here, or something happens and the leader overdrives the corner. But there's a lot of situations that can play out. But I think as long as he keeps himself out of trouble and at least gives himself the opportunity to win, yeah, you know, he'll be in a good shot.
And Brady, if you're touring shirts, you know, you're looking for a win to guarantee that you're going to get into the playoffs here for the NORA Truck Series. So, you know, do you just send it and take any opportunity that you can get? Do you settle for third, knowing that that's going to improve your points here in the league and pretty good chance you'll get in on points? What do you think? You go for broke or you play it safe?
So me personally, with him being 4 below the cut and knowing the kind of day Tim Harper's having, I would just honestly just try and take the points and just roll with it. He's had a great points day, I mean, and also with the stage points as well. But knowing Torin and the way he typically makes decisions, I feel like he is probably going to be go for broke here and just try and collect that checker flag.
Well, it's been one heck of a day for a lot of these drivers out here, as you mentioned, Vincent. This has been an incident-filled day, but also a difficult day. With anytime you got all of this racing going on, it's not just spread out and you have a chance to, you know, breathe nice and easy. You're not doing a lot of side-by-side racing. Here, it has just been chock-a-block racing from the drop of the initial green flag. And certainly Cody Dempster out front with a brand new team out there. Cody Height now shown in second place as Torrance Shirts really got the shaft on that choose cone back into fifth place. But Cody Height going to be starting in second. Gladelich now going to be starting in third. And by the way, look who's now starting in sixth place. It is the 6 car, and he's got the newest tires of anybody. But as you said, right side tires only for Norman. So we're going to go green flag after this lap. Multiple strategies, multiple tire strategies at play. And different drivers in this field definitely want to steal victory here as the regular season winds down.
Yeah, and as you said, I mean, the regular season winding down. These drivers have 2 more chances. They have tonight and they have next week to lock themselves in with the wins. So desperation for some of these guys who are outside of the points, you know, it's setting in now, especially if they're in a good position to try to grab a win. You know, that they're going to be giving it all they've got.
Well, to not get ahead of ourselves, next week, I mean, I'd definitely be watching that cutoff race. They're going to a short track at Richmond. Going to be some hurt feelings to make it in the playoffs.
That is going to be a lot of fun. And certainly, you know, guys, anybody out there who's watching in YouTube land, if you've been enjoying this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You'll be part of all of our action upcoming here, including the playoffs. And hit the like button while you can. If you do like this broadcast, we'll bring you lots more here on VirtualRacing.Network. But we are back underway. Cody Dempster leads it, and Cody Height gets turned, but he saves it. I don't even know how that's possible. No caution. Gladelich continues. Ronnie Norman in third. Gladelich looking for everything here, coming through turn number 1 behind. I can't believe they didn't go caution after that, but Cody Height able to keep it going, and he stays in fifth.
Storm and Ronnie Norman on those 2 tires.
We've got the 18 around, and that'll be a yellow flag. Multiple trucks involved. That's Cody Reeder. And now the 86 gets into the wall. So Guylis, Reeder, Christopher Heights, Craig Schroeder, and Todd Snyder all involved in that one in different ways. And you see already Schroeder sitting there on pit road. Todd Schneider cruising around on the back straightaway, coming off of the wall. Nick Guylis continuing. And guys, this was not a pretty one to happen on this green-white checkered.
Not at all. I mean, these drivers are going for broke here. You can tell by the way they're driving. It's checkers or wreckers for most of them. And I don't know what was happening there. I mean, there was some net code, but I don't know what he was doing that far down the track.
Well, definitely some
unfortunate for those drivers.
Some incident there between the 18 and the 24, and we'll have to see from Heights a little bit more and see what exactly was going on there as he drifted around. But as we look here, Looks like Guylas comes down, some net code involved, and around the 18 goes. This is what the 18 saw from on top of his car. Not much to see.
Nothing he could do.
You know, that's just almost like a little bit of racecraft there. I mean, Chris Hike's fully expecting the 24 to be all the way up to the wall. Going to try and maintain the draft, but Nick just trying to jump down there and side draft him, and just a bad ordeal overall, and just bad ordeal of the racing deal there.
A few trucks caught up in that one that had nothing to say about it, including Christopher Heights. Let's see what he saw from his point of view. He was well inside of this mess up in front, but getting turned there. Actually, Craig Schroeder is the one who got turned. Let's go back to that car. So Schroeder sees Guylas getting up in front, and he thinks he's going to make it through, but...
Heck of a lick for Schroeder.
Big lick, and then you can just hear that engine pop, and it's all dead quiet inside of that truck, and that is... last thing that you want to hear is dead silence inside your vehicle.
Especially when you're going backwards at 60 miles an hour.
So back to the front here as we're going to get another chance at a green-white checkered. 8 cautions for incidents here tonight. Cody Dempster in the top position. Jacob Gladelich in second. Torrance Schertz in third place, Ronnie Norman in fourth, and Sean Briscoe in fifth. And this has been, I mean, it's been borderline caution-filled, but there's been so much great racing in this race that I don't think it's been overshadowed by the number of cautions. But guys, everybody, like you said, going for broke, and this is the time to do it here with the green-white checkered coming out. What do you think? Is this the time that Jacob Gladelich goes for another win? Torrance Schertz right back in that third spot before we get to the choose cone. Ronnie Norman racing for owner's points. Is he going to go for a win tonight? We've even got Dylan Walterman up there for Harper Motorsports, going to be restarting in 6th place. A lot of these drivers could definitely go for a win. I don't even know who to circle as the driver to pick on this one once we get through with the green-white checkered.
I'll just say watch that 33 truck. He is going to be very aggressive right here on the restart. Probably will try and push the 48 out front, but after that, it'll be game on. Look for Jake, too. Jake is known to be well at these 1.5 mile and up tracks. You know, he is always there and always around, hanging around top 5, top 10.
He's always a comfortable sleeper pick.
Absolutely.
He has kept himself clean and ended up with a couple wins already this year. Can't remember if it was in NORA or the other places, but he's a smart driver, and he always knows how to find himself in a good position here at the end of these races. So if he pulls it off here, I will not be surprised.
The biggest thing you can guarantee about Jake is he will always have his stuff clean and bring himself home to a finish with a clean truck or car. That just shows you in the Cup Series, as I believe he's top 3 in owners in that 7 car, and is literally just running the 7 car for owners points, obviously, because he's running in the driver standings over here. But still, just very clean, solid, always getting to the finish line.
Well, Gladelich does have a win to his name, and I remember he survived that. I want to say it was at Atlanta, but there was a big incident that was caused in front, and he managed to be like 5th or 6th truck in line, but he basically ended up getting that race because he stayed clean at the end of the race. And so that he has working for him, but also the fact that he is the drift king. And so if anybody can go sideways through the corner and still survive, I guess it would be Jake Gladelich, currently starting in 2nd. And once again, we got all 3 makes represented in the top 3. Dempster for FAFO Racing in a Toyota. Jacob Gladelich for Brian Powell Motorsports in a Ford. And Torrance Schertz for BS Motorsports in a Chevy. This is how they're going to restart. We're going to get through the green-white checkers this time. We're underway once again here at Pocono, perhaps for the final time.
And they're already wrecking, and the 91 got turned around there, and oh man, these guys are just throwing caution to the wind here.
And speaking of that, we had Brad Fulham causing a caution, and I also saw Ronnie Norman kind of blinking out there, but let's go back and see if we can figure out what happened with Brad Fulham, who...
A missed shift. He missed a shift on the restart there.
Missed that
just all of a sudden
shift.
just stopped. Like the car all of a sudden just stopped.
Oh, and he grenaded the engine on top of it. My goodness. Just to add insult to injury, if we go on board here, you'll see missed a shift. You don't see that too much, but it does happen.
Yeah, it looks like he just topped off or topped out the gear, and the car behind him wasn't very patient with it.
Well, I believe that was Kirk. Was that Kirk Quist? Who was that was right behind him at the time?
13 of Jacob Malone.
13 of Jacob Malone. Yes, indeed. Okay, so let's see if we can, we'll back it up. And this is what it's like to come across a truck in front that misses a shift. Whoa.
Yeah, it looks like he just puts the brakes on, but that's just the severity of, the speed differential between shifting into third and then, or shifting into fourth and then just leaving it in third.
Well, I tell you what, after that mess, there's some other things to discuss. How about Christian Snyder recovering to 10th place in that battered and bruised Full Send Motorsports machine? You've got Stephen Henning, who now makes a appearance up in the top 10 in 9th place for JRC Sim Team. He's gained 18 spots here tonight. Grant Brown in the 76. He's been involved in a couple of incidents, but he's managed to recover. He's now currently sitting in 8th. And I see that Timothy Harper is now pulling it down onto pit road, guys. I don't know what this is all about.
Looking for some damage. I think he's still very damaged from that wreck from earlier.
So perhaps taking some damage repair. And you see the 24 coming out right in front. And Harper will pull it down and take on some repair. Looks like he's going to take tires as well. But right now...
Smoke him if you got him, right?
Well, a lot of these drivers, for example, the top two, 38 laps was the last time, or the 38th lap was the last time that they... Wow. See the lucky dog go streaming by there. He's going to have to work his way completely around the track in a hurry. But Dempster and Schertz, as well as Gladelich, last time they were in was on the 38th lap, and so that's 22 laps ago or so. Gladelich coming in on the as I mentioned, on the 38th lap, but Ronnie Norman taking on those two right side tires on the 52nd lap, and Dylan Walterman taking on 4 tires on the 52nd lap as well. So Briscoe also part of that 38th lap club, so that may be why he can't quite mount the challenge that the others can. And Gladelich gonna gain a lot here. He's gonna go from 3rd, I believe, to 2nd to do this restart because of that choose cone.
It'll be really interesting to see how this pays out, or pays off here.
If I'm counting correctly, I only see about 9 trucks left that aren't completely beaten and battered. So it should be about a 9-truck battle here for the lead if we can keep it clean.
I'm hoping we keep it clean here, and you had mentioned Christian getting back into the top 10. At the rate we're going, I wouldn't be surprised if he can land himself a top 5 or heck, even a top 3. If something crazy happens on the last lap, as long as we take that white flag, anything goes, and the next flag ends the race. So hopefully we can at least make it around to the white flag, and we don't get another overtime restart here. But yeah, it's anybody's game, that's for sure.
Well, certainly, once again, appreciate everybody joining us live here on VirtualRacing.Network to see the conclusion of round number 15. I'm joined by Vincent Arthur who leads the points in the NORA Cup Series, which will be happening here tomorrow night on VirtualRacing.Network from Pocono Raceway. So these guys certainly checking it out, getting a lot of notes before they head out there and do battle tomorrow night. And of course, also joined here by Brady Moats, owner of Ready to Wreck Racing, one of the teams that will also be out there again tomorrow night for the NORA Cup Series. So guys, you learning anything tonight? Is this going to help pay off tomorrow when you go drop the green flag?
Yeah, I think so. At least for me, I stick to my guns and don't overdrive the corners. Just hopefully that'll keep me out of trouble and qualify up front, stay up front all night. Track position is king. So that's the biggest takeaway I've gotten from this one.
Yeah, just I'll be 2-car tandeming with Vincent, shoving him all the way around here. So can't wait to do that tomorrow night either.
It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night, but tonight we get to finish this one off in style, and Cody Dempster is going to try to look for that maiden win right now on VirtualRacing.Network. He takes a big lead heading into turn number 1. They're 3 wide just behind as they fan the front straightaway, but it's Torrance Schertz and Jacob Gladelich fighting it out for second. 3 wide just behind between Grant Brown, Ronnie Norman, Jacob Malone, and now you see more trucks getting into the action. I don't know if we're going to finish this one under green here as we keep beating and banging on each other, but Ronnie Norman pushes up into that 4th spot. He might be trying to look for more.
Man, the racing is so tight. It's like every corner exit, I'm just wincing in my seat. Just looking at how hard these drivers are pushing. I mean, they're sending it into turn 3. I mean, there's some contact in the back, but, off of turn 3 here, the white flag is out. The next flag is going to end the race, so we got a race here to the finish.
This is our race to the end. Dempster with a big lead heading into turn number 1 on the final lap. We will make it to the end of this one. At the end of this lap, who's it going to beat? It's going to take the win. Who's going to take the podium? Torrance Schertz holding on to second. We've got trucks
Big
crashing
wreck
in the back. This is Briscoe and Henning that have gotten into the wall. We stay green for the moment. Grant Brown also involved in that one. Dempster is going to pull it around turn number 2 through the tunnel turn. And it's still Schertz behind. Here comes Gladelich to the outside as they approach turn 3. Now Gladelich is going to try to swing it to the high side, but here comes Ronnie Norman to the inside. Can Starman Ronnie Norman steal 3rd place and a podium position away? I don't think he's going to do it. It's Cody Dempster who takes your win at Pocono. Torrance Schertz with a 2nd place. Jacob Gladelich with 3rd, and Ronnie Norman in 4th. Kurt Quist rounding out your top 5, and what a finish indeed, Vincent. This was some exciting stuff leading up to this final lap, and I thought maybe Ronnie might steal that 3rd spot there at the end.
Not to take away from Cody Dempster, but huge points tonight for Torrance Schertz. I mean, that's big on the bubble there. Big time gain there. I'm sure we'll see that come chase grid when the admins get that done.
Certainly going to give Schertz a big breath of relief going into this last round coming up. And there, 13 banging with the 33 as they continue to wreck each other here as we are done with this race. But certainly Schertz getting some support from the rest of the field here. And guys, this was a lot, as you said. Some of these drivers between Dempster, Schertz, Gladelich, these are not your typical drivers that you see in the top 3 of this series, but certainly a great podium position for all 3 of them.
Oh yeah, I mean, I look at Jacob Gladelich. I mean, he started 19th and he gets a podium, and Ronnie Norman, he just narrowly missed out on a podium, but started 17th, finished 4th. So great recoveries for these guys. A wonderful day. I mean, that 48 car came to life with about 10 laps to go. So he peaked at the right time, and he had the speed to be able to hold them off, played the restarts perfectly, and, big hats off to him. That was a wonderful run there at the end.
Absolutely, and it was so much fun to watch this one unfold. Dempster really earned that one. He put put quite a few truck lengths in front of or behind himself and really solidified this one there at the very end. Congratulations to Cody Dempster taking this victory and taking round number 15. Of course, only racing for owner's points, so it won't qualify him for the playoffs here at the end of the season. So let's go ahead and take a look at your final results here as we get these drivers into the waiting room and ready to go for their interviews here in the post-race discussion for the NORA Truck Series. It's Cody Dempster who steals the victory away from everyone else. Nobody really saw it coming partway into this race, but he puts the brand new team, FAFO Motorsports, into the spotlight with this victory. Congratulations to him. Torrin Schertz taking second place in a big, almost a victory for himself and BS Motorsports. Of course, a victory would have solidified him into the playoffs, but second place gives him some solid breathing room there in the playoffs chase. Jacob Gladelich taking third place for Brian Powell Motorsports, and fourth going to Ronnie Norman for JRC Sim Team. Kirk Quist for Flatline Motorsports filling in tonight. He'll take fifth. Sixth, Dylan Walterman. Seventh, Christian Snyder ends up with a solid top 10 finish. I don't even know how it's possible. He restarted like 13th or 14th, but he ends up finishing in the top 10. Jacob Malone in 8th place. Ninth goes to Todd Slauson, again, a guy who was caught up in numerous incidents out there tonight, but ended up putting it into 9th. And Cody Height on YouTube, he had such an event-filled night. He was up there in the lead for a brief moment. He was playing around in the top 3, but unfortunately getting taken out and ending up, though, as our final car in the top 10. Josh Conover in 11th, Stephen Henning in 12th, Christopher Heights 13th, Brian Jones 14th, Sean Briscoe 15th, Ian Clark 16th, Timothy Harper 17th, Cody Reeder in 18th, and rounding out the order was Grant Brown in 19th, Mark Bremkamp in 20th, Nick Geilis 21st, Brad Fulham 22nd, Todd Snyder 23rd, Craig Schroeder 24th, Martin Clute in 25th, David McGuire in 26th, Mark Morton 27th, Jovi Ray, my goodness, what a flash of brilliance, and then he was gone, finishing in 28th. Jake Christenberry, our first truck to really jump out of this race. Unfortunate circumstances. He really couldn't even fight for it tonight. Ended up popping that engine on an unfortunate crash very, very early on. Jordan Abeta, taking 30th place for that FAFO Motorsports team. And again, he didn't really get anything out of tonight, but it's now time to check over in our waiting room and see if we can have a chat with our top drivers out there. And of course, Jacob Gladelich, he does not like to do the interviews, so we won't get a chance to chat with him. So instead, we'll bring in Torrin Schertz, who took second place. And Torrin, what an amazing run for yourself at BS Motorsports. We thought this is going to definitely solidify his chance to get into those playoffs at the end of the season. You got to feel relieved to get that second place and get all of those points. Congratulations. Torrin, have you got me? You got me there, and you may be doing the bio break or something there, because I could certainly understand. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, buddy. No, I certainly understand. That was a tense race, probably a lot to recover from. Talk us through your night. Congratulations on taking that second place. And of course, this should, if it doesn't completely solidify you in the playoffs, it really gives you some breathing room.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know, the button didn't work once I got pulled up here. But yeah, no, that was a solid finish to a rocky start. I wasn't expecting that EOL. It is what it is at the end of the day. So, qualified 5th, start 28th. That was unfortunate. Worked my way up there. Kind of felt like I probably wasn't going to do anything, and ended up not pitting at all in the whole first 2 stages. That kind of got me close to the front. Caution kind of fell right. Finally got some tires. I was in the top 10 finally, and just kind of kept inching away. Plowed the wall once, just out of sheer stupidity, just overdrove the corner, trying to protect too much. It's just such an up and down race. But there at the end, when it mattered the most, we had speed. Congrats to Cody. I mean, 1 for 1. That's pretty impressive. I've been battling for wins way too much to not get one, and he comes in here and grabs it on his first night. So that's saying something there. But yeah, I think I got second. I don't know where the other guys finished. I'm hoping that points-wise we're all right, going into a track that I'm a little more confident in than Pocono, and then hopefully we're in. It's been a long season coming. I got some guys that run a handful of races, and since they won, they're locked in. But I've had to run every single race and try to get in on points. Been knocking at the door, so you never know what can happen.
So tonight, also there was so much talk about tires and just all kinds of different tire strategy playing out there. You were part of the party that came in on lap 38, and then you kind of stayed out there for that track position. Was that the plan all along? Or was there a time where you were tempted with those cautions to come in and take tires? What did you think coming through the end of this race?
Yeah, I knew. Like I said, when I got gifted that 28th place start, I had to do something different because track position is very important here, as evidence of the real race going on. So I knew I had to do something completely off strategy. So, and the tires weren't too bad. I was able to kind of hold my own, maybe lose a couple spots, whatever. But I ended up getting stage points at the end of stage 2, and that's 30-something laps on them tires. Granted, we had some cautions, so once I pit, I was like, what's the worst that can happen? We're going to go ahead and stay out. I pit early because we were kind of close on fuel, topped her off, and even then, if we had one more green-white checkered, I was done. I mean, I ran out of fuel on after the checkered there, so I was pretty close anyway, but I was staying out for all it's worth, knowing I was that close for the playoffs. You just got to go for it at this point.
Indeed, you went for it. We were kind of taking a poll here informally in the booth as to whether you're going to try to full send it there for the win and try and steal it from Cody, but he seemed to have some pretty good restarts here. Anybody that you'd like to thank? Certainly, I know you'd like to thank your teammate Mark, who had a very eventful race. He was up there in the front, ultimately ended up back there in 20th.
Yeah, definitely got to thank Mark. Without him, it'd be hard to do this every week. He had some steering issues there after getting caught up in a wreck, and the truck just lost all steering, turned left, smacked the wall, and that kind of ended his night. He stayed in there, had a few choice words, but hey, I'll probably be the same. It was really unfortunate because he had such a strong truck. He was right up there, top 5, top 10, all night long. So I really feel like, we could have been duking it out here. I got to thank Josh for this league. 30 trucks tonight or whatever. You can't beat that, and most of them are pretty quality drivers. Got a few crybabies in here, but you're going to get that anywhere. But overall, this is a real fun league to race in, so got to thank him and all these drivers in here. And definitely got to thank my buddy Michael. Got to give him a shout out for watching and root me on, and anybody else watching on the broadcast.
Certainly, we appreciate it, Torin, and we always love watching you race out there. You bring it just as hard as anyone else, and I won't be surprised to see you actually take that victory here on VirtualRacing.Network before too long. Congratulations getting second place, and you can breathe a little bit easier tonight now knowing that you'll be able to compete in those playoffs here at the end of the season.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. My pleasure. That's Torin Schertz coming in second here in his Chevy for BS Motorsports, and he was just that close to taking victory. And of course, the one driver who did take victory was this driver who is absolutely brand new to this team, the FAFO team, and a one-off effort. Cody Dempster taking victory. Congratulations, Cody. You just heard from Torin Schertz. He said that this was not. He goes out there, he races every race trying to get that victory. See somebody just come in there and steal it is a bit disheartening, but congratulations. And Vincent, I know you have some questions for Cody.
Yeah, Cody, we saw you really, take your time, get into the front throughout the race, but your truck really came alive those last 10 laps. What happened there? Were you driving a little differently? Were you saving a little more tire than the guys around you? Where did that speed come from?
Honestly, a lot of it derived from practice. There were a lot of folks that were running a lot of pack racing and stuff during practice, and I just focused on working on me. I had ran a lot of laps around Pocono. It's one of my favorite tracks, but to go out and just get into a truck that I haven't ran a single lap in the truck all week. I wasn't coming home expecting the race, and then Mark Bremkamp and Ian Clark and them were like, hey, you want to come run this race? And I said, sure, why not? And got a hold of Josh, and next thing you know, we had a team of 4 trucks, only 3 could make it. But a lot of it came from practice, just being able to work on myself and work on what I was doing. And then that first stage, I really worked on, okay, I know how these trucks race in the air. How are they going to race in the air around here? I learned a lot in the first stage, and that helped me, fight back through the field in the coming stages.
Yeah, but we saw you really pick your way through there, avoiding all the big incidents. It was a battle of attrition out there. What was the thing that you saw from the driver's seat that allowed you to stay out of the trouble tonight?
It was just a lot of heads up stuff. That deal with I believe it was the 99 truck. I want to say. I kind of saw that coming in the middle of 3. I saw him drifting out more and more. So it was heads up. Be prepared for it. Don't let it catch you off guard. Don't drive off your hood pins, as I always say. You got to drive, 2 or 3 trucks in front of you. Your eyes will go where you're looking. So if you're looking at the wreck, you're going to go into the wreck. But if you're looking for ways around the wreck preemptively, you're going to be able to get through there pretty clean, pretty good.
Yeah, and I guess one last question I have for you is, as Trevor mentioned, I mean, people running this series, all year long trying to find a win, and then, drivers like you come in and win on their first start. I did the same thing a couple of years ago in the NORA National Series. But what is the significance of your first start and winning it here in the NORA Truck Series? What does that mean to you?
I mean, it comes in and makes a statement. It really gets down to the core of, we're here to get one job done, and that's win races. I'm not running for a championship. It wouldn't be fair for me to come in 2 races before the playoffs, and it sucks that I took a playoff, a lock-in from Torn, but you got to make a statement so that next year when we come back, we're still here and we're still going to make a strong statement and hopefully run in contention for a championship next year, kind of deal, and just learn as much as we can this year.
I really like your attitude. Is there anybody else you'd want to thank, or Trevor, you got any more questions?
Well, my only question is, with this brand new team FAFO, is this what we have to look forward to? Is this kind of what you're going for, is to come in, make a big statement, and be able to snatch away wins and possible championships in the future?
That's always the goal. We got a lot of heavy hitters, a lot of good guys. Everyone on the team races cars in real life. I race a super late model. Grant races a late model in the Midwest.
Awesome.
We got a couple street stock guys. We're all just buddies that like to have fun, but at the end of the day, we're all here to win races, and we'll work together and try and put one of us in a championship spot at some point.
So who would you like to thank, as Vincent alluded to?
I got to thank Josh for letting me in last minute. I mean, we were getting everything ready to go and getting everyone in 40 minutes before the practice session popped off. So I got to thank him for letting us come in and spoil the fun tonight and put on a good series. I've been kind of watching from afar as, Mark Bremkamp's in here. He's one of my good buddies. So I got to thank him and you guys for broadcasting. It's always kind of fun to look back later on and see what happened and watch everything else go down. Grant over at Patriot Media Marketing and Driver Tees, and then Alex Gretz at 17 Media. He was literally throwing this paint scheme together as practice was going on, and got it together within 20 minutes. I called him up and said, hey, I need something quick, I need something fast, and he knocked it out of the park. It's a pretty truck, and you wouldn't tell it was put together other than the number font. We were messing with the number font, but you couldn't tell it was put together in 20 minutes.
Well, fabulous job. Sometimes these things come together quick, but certainly, obviously, a lot of talent behind the wheel and within the team. And congratulations. You're going to be running more races here with us in the Truck Series.
I'm going to run as much as I can. Wife and I are expecting a little one. The due date was on Sunday, so I was half expecting during that race for her to say, hey, we got to go. It's always kind of in the back of your head. So I'm gonna run as much as I can between the real life racing schedule and then raising a little one. I'm gonna run as much as I can. I love the trucks. It's a good group of guys and good car count. That's what makes the difference at the end of the day.
Well, congratulations. You did what many would love to do, but you did it in your first bounce here on VirtualRacing.Network in the NORA Truck Series, stealing victory. Congrats, Cody. We'll look forward to seeing you back here many times over and doing the same.
Thank you, guys.
So that is Cody Dempster, and I mean, what a way to come in and make a statement, guys. Vincent, Brady, this was one for the ages. It was a tough race, a lot of great action at the front, definitely a survival game, and at the end of the day, when Cody Dempster in a brand new team, a last-minute effort, ends up walking away with the win. Vincent, what's your thoughts on the final? What's your final thoughts on tonight here at Pocono?
I think it was a battle of attrition, and the smart drivers ended up, coming to the end and getting good finishes. So, I mean, personally, I learned a lot about these races and what to expect for tomorrow night. So, I'm excited for that. But hats off to Cody Dempster. I mean, he played a smart race and he took off when it mattered. So, wonderful drive from him. Big congrats to Torin. That was a huge points day for him. And Jacob, he's your sleeper pick. Comes in with the podium. So, a lot of attrition, a lot of really, really good close racing, and I look forward to being a part of it tomorrow night.
Absolutely, and we'll look forward to that as well. Brady, your final thoughts?
I just really appreciate you for having me on, Trevor. Glad to be in here and hang out and watch some racing with y'all guys. I love watching these guys on Monday night, even if it's on my TV and being over there in the YouTube chat. Love doing it. But yeah, solid day for Torin. Definitely no Jake's always going to be there. But congratulations to Cody Dempster on his first win. In his first start, very impressive. But yeah, looking forward to tomorrow night. Going to be more of the same story. Draft. I mean, saving tires is going to be big. Hopefully we can get some good long runs in. And have some great racing tomorrow night. But glad to sit here and learn with y'all and learn some strategy too, and to what can play on tomorrow night.
Absolutely. I loved it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here at VirtualRacing.Network. It was an absolute pleasure, and maybe just Christian won't come back and you can just keep joining. No, I'm just kidding. It'll be great to have Christian back here in the booth in the future when he's not too anxious to get behind the wheel. But either way, it was great having you guys out there, and of course, good luck out there tomorrow night. I know both of you are going to be vying for the win.
I appreciate the opportunity, and it'll be a fun time out there tomorrow.
Yeah, more so Vincent vying for the win, but I mean, hopefully I could be there,
You never know, and that's the beauty of it, like we saw tonight. Really, anybody could win, and Cody Dempster, a relative unknown, comes in at the last minute with a brand new team, takes the victory. Second place going to BS Motorsports Torin Shirts, who really needed the points. He got the points tonight. Jacob Gladelich just cements what we already know. He's a top 3 driver any night that he can be competitive and be up there at the front. And so what will we see tomorrow night? You'll want to tune in here on VirtualRacing.Network as we have the big Cup Series here for the NORA Cup Series 2023, winding down their regular season as well. Vincent Arthur will be in that field. Of course, leading the points over there as well. Brady Moats up in the points, and both of those drivers racing some pretty big names here for that victory. And it's going to be fun to end this triple header at Pocono with the NORA Cup Series, see if these guys have learned anything. But either way, if you're out there in YouTube land, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We always appreciate everybody joining in. Drift King, Jacob Gladelich, giving us a wave early on. Dustin Kleba, Chad Engel, Steven Dombrowski, Bamboni-tastic. We hope to see you on track. And Michael Heimer says winning next week. Well, either way, we love having you all join us here. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed to VirtualRacing.Network. And, of course, give us a big like, a big thumbs up. That helps to push this video out there so even more race fans can find us. On behalf of everybody here in the NORA Truck Series, including the admins, Josh Conover, Ronnie Norman, and everyone else, and on behalf of Vincent Arthur, Brady Moats, and Christian Snyder, I'm Trevor Greenfield signing off for tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow night here at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time for the NORA Cup Series. Until then, bye-bye, everybody. Get a good night's sleep.